Hi everyone, this is Sherry Schweethelm, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how to use a front door, back door report for analyzing the attendance in your ministry. I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and we will take a look at a front door, back door spreadsheet. Some of the assumptions that this spreadsheet requires before you get started is that you are taking a name-by-name attendance of the program you would like to be tracking. The reason for doing this is because we want to see not just the numbers of participants you have in a program, but also specifically who those participants are. In this example, my fictitious data shows that there are 2 more participants in September than there were in the school year 14-15. But that doesn't really tell the full picture of what's happening in this ministry, and that's what this tool is all about. For my program, this assumes that you have already taken attendance and exported that list of attendees from your database into these columns in alphabetical order. Here I have in column A that we have the participants from the 2014-15 school year listed in alphabetical order. And here we have in column B the participants from the month of September in alphabetical order. What we do here is this test column uses a formula just to help us identify what data is the same and what data is different. This formula will say that if the name in column A is the same as the name in column B, then there will be a 0. If the 2 names are not the same, there will be a 1. This simply helps us to identify the data that we need to look at. But before we get started, I always take my original data and I've created an identical copy on my working copy page, and that is where we'll be working today. So in order to use the tool, we come to where our first number 1 is, right here. We see that we have a Joey in column A and Jane in column B. So the first thing we'll do is look and see, is Joey still in column B? Yes, right there. So Jane is new. So we're going to copy Jane's name over here to the front door column and paste it there. It is important that you do not cut in this, because if you cut, it will create formula errors. Once we've moved Jane to the front door, then you delete her name from the column, and then we copy this data and move it up. Now our ones have changed. So here on the next row we have a 1, and it's because we have Keith here and Maddie here. But Maddie is also in the first column. So the reason for the discrepancy is because Keith is gone. So now we're going to copy Keith and put him in the backdoor column. Then we delete Keith and we move copy and paste. And over here we have lots of zeros where people are in order. Then we come to our next number 1. Same thing. We see that Justin is gone, so we're going to move Justin over to the back door. Or we'll delete Justin, we'll copy this row up. Now we go down 2 more. Here we see that Abby and Alex are new, so we'll copy them over here. Come back and repeat the process. Delete these guys, move them up, come down here. Here's an interesting row. We look and we see Bob is not in row B, column B, but both of them are changes. So first we will take Bob and put him in the back door. Then we'll take Bo and put Bo in the front door. delete both of these. We'll move everybody up just to keep our chart together. And we'll move all the way down here. Here's another situation. Andrew is gone. So we'll move Andrew to the back door. Then we'll look, and Joseph is new, but so is Katie. So we'll take both of them. Bring them over here to the front door. And you can see that this process goes pretty quickly for a short list like this. It does take quite a bit longer when you're dealing with several hundred names. And when you get to this point, the list you have here in these two columns is everyone who has not changed. These are the people who were here both last year and this year. Here in the back door, you have a list of 4 names of people to follow up with to find out what has happened that they are not back. And you have this list of 6 names of new people to make sure that you've welcomed them and give them all the proper information in order to begin participating in the program. So this is an example of how to use the tool for a single month. My best practice would be that I would use last year's list to compare September's back door and front door, but then I would use September's list to compare to October. Then I would combine September and October into a joint list of everyone who was here for either month and use that to compare to November, then create a compiled list for September, October, November, use that to compare to December, and so on. On my list of resources, you'll find a link to this spreadsheet, as well as to several resources that talk about some of the possible changes that could be happening, an overview of why you would want to look at a front door, back door list, and an interesting article I found about how online resources could be contributing to the front door or back door of a congregation. So that is how to use a front door and back door report for ministry. Thank you for listening.